Hi there. So this is my first ever video on YouTube. Um, this is gonna be just like a channel that's gonna um mostly focus around the new like 2004 port for RuneScape. A lot of you probably like looking at this strange like old looking game and thinking like surely there's no way. Um, but no, it's true. So a lot of you probably know about the existence of old school RuneScape, which was a 2007 port made by Jagex of the game in I think 2012 or 2013, where they, the players voted to have the game back, um, to be a pre-evolution of combat and RuneScape 3. So like for those of you in the know, RuneScape 2 came out in 2002. After following RuneScape Classic and that kind of stuff. I'm just gonna turn those off for this. But yeah, so there's actually a 2004 port of the game out now, um, which is called Lost City. I can provide the link to the game in the in the description of the video. Um, but basically, this is just like essentially the whole point behind the 2004 port is to have a historical, if I get this right, a historical representation, a real representation of what the game was like back then. Um, like for example, a lot of the settings are quite janky and old. Like if you have a look down here, like it can support one or two button functions. Um, None of this like fancy stuff. You don't use WASD. You can't use the middle mouse wheel to scroll around your screen. You have to literally use the arrow keys. A lot of like old idiosyncrasies like this because that's just the way the game was in 2004. Um, I've been playing RuneScape since about 2001, 2002. Since it was in Classic, I was about 6 years old. Didn't have a clue what I was doing. Was definitely rubbish at the game. My older brother and his best friend introduced it to me, and it was something I enjoyed playing. I know I enjoyed playing it. Didn't know why. Never got very far. Uh, Not until I got obviously older. I was there when the EOC came out. I gave it a try for about a year, maxed my account, and then decided to leave the game for a while. Then I ended up playing old school RuneScape. Uh, Not when it first came out, to be honest. It wasn't really something I didn't really buy into the nostalgia of it. Mostly because, well, it wasn't that I didn't think I'd enjoy it. It's the fact that I know what this game can do, and once you're in, getting out can be a problem. It can be quite addicting. Um, I decided to start to just have a just like I'm gonna make videos just talking about like the game, the differences between things. I was here actually playing this game when it looked like this. When these are now called hill giants. They're in 2004. They were just giants. Um, the date today is the 26th of March. On the 29th, so this coming Saturday, the members content is going to be released into this game. Now, just to prefix, this game is not at all like Jagex are not running this. This is somebody privately running it. Um, it's kind of in a moral grey area. It's not doing any harm to the game. This is not a service, not a version of the game that Jagex are currently offering, and this is like a historical version of it that honestly most people wouldn't really enjoy these days unless they were there. It's like can feed that nostalgia beast. I started playing it to kind of have a go, feed the nostalgia beast, and then move on. Just to be like, okay, I'm satiated. That's fine. Turns out it has the same kind of addictive crack qualities that it had when I was 6. So I'm I've decided to stick around. I thought I'd make a couple like videos just talking over some of the stuff in here. Like as you can see right now in the background, I am just like grinding my stats up. I've got 37 quest points. That's because I've done all of the free-to-play quests, bar Dragon Slayer, because that's all that's available. There are hardly any members quests available. The one that right now they haven't figured out because it's this version of the game. So essentially, this game was recreated using old rune code that's been reconstructed into a different version of code. And the Wayback Machine, following the updates when they happen, the team behind it are using this is the current port of the game. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Yeah, the current port of the game is from the version of the game where Legends Quest was going to be released in the next patch. Um, yeah, obviously membership stuff will not in this game will be free. It's when I say membership, it's more like the historical context of membership, and what that actually meant back then when you'd pay your $4.99 or whatever it was on a prepaid card or $3.99. I can't remember something like that. As a kid, I never had membership. It wasn't until I was a teenager when I actually managed to do that. But yeah, I have played RuneScape for a very long time. All of the versions. It's one of those like forever loves for me. I think it's one of those games that like I personally think it's the best MMO on the planet in terms of story. Yeah, as you can see, this is another good example. If you play old school, but you may remember like the when old school first started, there was some of these random events and stuff like the swarm and the river trolls and that kind of stuff. Now they're obviously been removed from old school now, and they've been long gone in RuneScape 3 for such a long, long time because they were seen as annoyances. These were little like random events to break up, but obviously it was initially a bot fighting tactic. Um, stop bots just because they would get broken if something would interrupt their core code, their core like loop. Whereas now, obviously, they're much smarter, so they kind of just moved away from those kind of tactics. But it's quite funny getting a swarm every now and then. Like your axe can break if you're hitting like a tree, a spirit tree, summon river trolls, mining the rock golems, that kind of stuff. That can very much kill you if you AFK. It's not a very AFK friendly game. Would recommend if you give it a try to have your at least your effect volumes on so you can hear what's happening to your character. I've just muted it for the video because it can be very loud. Um, yeah, right now my current goal is to I'm grinding up prayer. I want to get my combats to 40, my prayer to 43. As you see, prayer actually there are no more prayers after 43 in this 2004 version of the game. The membership content all comes out on in 3 days from now. I'm very late to the party, to be honest. Like this game's been out about 2 months. I've played a week, not even a week, like 4 or 5 days, and I haven't been playing religiously because of work and all the other kind of stuff. So I'm just trying to catch up as best I can. I want to get Dragon Slayer done before membership comes out. I want 43. I want 43 prayer. I want all 40s. I want to get a rune scimitar and full rune. Then I want to kind of just grind a bit. I kind of want to do some rune crafting, try and get that to 44 so I can craft natures. But at the end of the day, it's because partly it's a fresh market, so there's a lot of money that can be made just by knowing the money making methods. Obviously, we have the power of foresight this time. We know what's valuable and what's going to always be valuable. Um, that's a good thing, I think, but also it can be a bit of a curse. So let's see what happens. Right now, I know. So like when I first heard about the game, I was watching other people's videos on it, and I think it was peaking at 600, 700, 800 people per day on sometime. And then there was the time the RuneScape old school RuneScape servers actually dropped. And then RuneFest happened. It gained a little bit of popularity to where I first started. It was up to like 12, 1300 concurrent players a day. Whereas actually the peak now is close to 15, 1600. It's growing. It's growing steadily. It's growing well. There's more and more players I see every single day. It kind of feels like the same RuneScape. There is no grand exchange, of course. There is like a marketplace, like sort of. It's not in the game. It's like a website that you kind of like put buy and sell offers, a bit like early old school. Um, but most of the time, you just go to like World One. You go to like Varrock West or East Valley, and you've got the markets there, people buying and selling all the time, depending on what you're buying and what you're selling, what you're after, that kind of stuff. But you generally like player to player trading is good. The more players that we get in, the better. I'd think it's a good idea to give it a shot. See if you like it. But what I will say is this game is very slow. It's not. It hasn't had a lot of quality of life. It's had nothing put into it at the moment. They're debating whether they want quality of life changes or whether they want to just like follow the actual thing. I think the plan is they're going to eventually move this to like 2005 Scape and then 2006 Scape, but they're going to keep the older ports open so you can have a save for your character that will forever be 2004 Scape. So before that's, as you can see, membership wise, there are 4 membership skills: Herblore, Agility, Thieving, Fletching. That's literally it. Whereas in 2005, I believe that was the year Hunter and Slayer both got introduced. And then, of course, quite infamously, then Construction was released in 2006. Um, yeah, so you're looking, obviously, there are also more bosses. Like right now, the Kingback Dragon exists. That's it. And it's, this is the port. This is when, the King Black Dragon was like the king of the game kind of thing, the ultimate monster where everyone memes on it these days as being like what a joke. But back in this point, it was no joke. The best cape you could get was the Legends cape, but even in this port, not yet. As you can see, the quest isn't even out yet, but they'll be fixing that. So there's a couple of bugs with it. They'll be fixing that soon, and we'll be able to do all these quests, get Legends capes, and then obviously the 2005 Scape. I believe that's when the Fight Caves also came out, and you'll be able to get the Fire Cape. There will never be God Wars in this. It'll never go that far because that was 2007, 2008. That's kind of like old schools onwards level, and I don't think it will ever go that far in. I don't think they endeavored to do that. But yeah, I think uh, to avoid like just rambling about the same stuff, that's basically like what this game is. Um, I have some personal goals that I want to go through. Firstly, I just want to enjoy the game. Like whilst it's here, I'm aware that it's not a Jagex owned product, and Jagex could very well decide to pull the plug on this at some point. Um, you know, uh, on a legal level, I'm not sure what the probability of that is, but whatever. That's out of my control. I'm enjoying it one day at a time. Playing it at work whenever I can, or playing it in the afternoons whenever I've got time. Making slow and steady progress. Really looking forward to the member skills. Uh, yeah, making monies. Right now, as I said, focus is preparing for those member stuff, and then I'll be releasing videos. I'll try and release videos quite often on what I'm up to, how I'm progressing, how the game's looking through the members' skills, um, and yeah, hopefully it continues to grow. The community is already pretty good. As I said, it's very similar to the way it was, just a whole lot less people back then. There were hundreds of people joining every single day, but they were also leaving just as quick. Whereas this seems to be, we were getting like maybe 50 to 100 people join, and a lot less people are leaving, which is really good for now. But we all know we've all played this game. We all know where it goes. So that's going to be it from me for this one. I'll yeah, be back soon with another update in the next couple of days. Bye.